Okay, I'm hoping this view works. I saw this article on the Yahoo homepage, as one does, because I've always been a Yahoo girly. Yes, three of my nails are missing, okay? I don't think the gel cured properly because I was doing my nails at home and I think it's a whole thing. So, yeah. But just because they're going to be in the video, real life. Anyway, I was scrolling Yahoo, as one does, and I was like, ooh, this is interesting. It's a Yahoo Life article written by Noreen Khan, and it's titled LinkedIn Male Thirst Traps, Text Apologies. 17 Gen Zers tell us what they find unbearably cringe. So I figured I would go through this list of things that these Gen Zers, have said are cringe and say if I think they're cringe, because I am 29. I will be 30 in July. Okay. So we're doing math. I was born July 96, which means I think I am like beautifully, bountifully, especially equipped to, talk about the cringe factor of these things, because I myself often find that I'm kind of like at the crossroads of being a millennial or Gen Z. A lot of like data analysts would say, oh, you're like solidly millennial. Very rarely Gen Z, but lived experience me is like, I'm like, a zillennial or a Gen Zennial. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into this. I'm going to read the last paragraph before the list of things because I think it does give a little bit of context, but here we go. We asked the Gen Zers in our lives to put together their own cringe lists, the stuff that give them secondhand embarrassment and the things they personally avoid to sidestep shame or, just a minor bit of awkwardness. Many of them responded almost immediately, demonstrating just how often they think about cringe. They came back with lists that were surprising, fascinating, and funny. A view into their specific neuroses, tastes, and values. Taken together, it's a portrait of a generation that's simultaneously self-aware and extremely risk-averse, still trying to figure it all out. I'm not going to read the names of the people. These might not even be their real names. I don't know. But I'm just going to go through the list and give my personal take, whether it's cringe or not. I will, asterisk this moment by saying I'm probably going to find most things not cringe because I'm very aware of the fact that we are literally on a floating rock with magma and an ocean that we don't know how deep it goes, truly. Birds exist and they are literally related to dinosaurs. So I am slowly learning that, to have a human existence and be like, this is so cringe, I think that's literally missing the point because we are getting to be surrounded by so much beauty every day of our lives. That sounded cliche, but it's true. It's true. All right. Starting strong. Being rude to service workers. That is absolutely cringe. If you are rude to a service worker, I'm judging you. We all have bad days, but be kind when you can. I mean, and don't get me wrong, like you're going to make a misstep or whatever because we're human. But ultimately, being rude to service workers, cringe. Yes, agree. Ubering everywhere, not cringe. Not all cities in the US are walkable. Some of us don't have a car, okay? Uber and Lyft have gotten me in many places. I mean, ultimately, I wish we had a more reliable bus system, public transportation in general, okay? Constant, every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes. It would be nice. Also, going to a university that had essentially free busing around campus and nearby. I mean, yes, it was built into our student fees, but that was one less thing you had to think about when getting on the bus. So to me, at the time, when I was in college, I went to UNC Chapel Hill. I was incentivized to use the bus system And we also had the point to point, which ran like throughout the night. So that said, I think public transportation is a beautiful thing, and I wish it was more prevalent. And yeah, public transportation is not cringe. That's not on the list. I'm just saying public transportation, never cringe. And nor is Ubering or using ride shares. Country music, not cringe. I think country music is just grossly misunderstood. I think a lot of people strongly dislike the bro country music of like the early to mid thousands to now, like the whole Morgan Wallen of country. Yeah. However, country music as a whole, not cringe. My opinion. Text apologies. I think it depends on like why the apology is happening, but ultimately like communication is a good thing. So maybe not cringe. Being on social media all the time, see, I'm taking that very literally, because what do you mean by all the time? That's very subjective. One person's all the time might be 1 hour. Another person's could be 10, 15. We are literally carrying computers in our pockets. What are we classifying as social media? I don't know. Like, I don't think being on social media all the time is necessarily cringe. I think it's dependent on how you use social media, like the how and like the what you're using it for. Ultimately, I think a lot of stories get shared via social media, and I think it's important, especially in this day and age, that we remember that we're not alone. And I think sharing stories via the interwebs can help with that. So I don't think that's cringe. But like, nuance. Calling ChatGPT chat. That is absolutely cringe. Honestly, using ChatGPT in and of itself is cringe. Generative AI, ChatGPT, that type of shit is killing the planet. It's killing us. It's killing our communities, okay? It's polluting, these data centers, polluting neighborhoods, the water. That's not good. It's very cringe. Be like the rest of us. Phone a friend. Phone yourself. Talk to yourself. Read a book. Anything. Stop with the chat GPT, please. Using TikTok as your only news source. I guess that is kind of cringe. I think it depends on what sources are you defining as news on TikTok. Does that make sense? Like, if you go to ABC News or like Al Jazeera on TikTok, I don't think like that's not cringe. You know, you should absolutely know how to go and source and find other like reputable sources. But if you're watching this video and saying, "Oh, I got the news from my Dallas today," honey, I'm not a journalist. I am not a news person. I am not the news. You feel me? Yeah. Using your phone in a movie theater, absolutely, that is cringe. Hating Bad Bunny, also cringe. Going back to the movie theater thing, I just feel like if you have to use your phone, especially like if it's an emergency, you know what you can do? You can just, walk out of the movie and answer the phone in the hallway where like the workers are. And there's volume, public etiquette. Yeah, moving on. The word crotch goblin. I do agree. I think this is a little cringe. I used to be of the mind that like, haha, it's funny, crotch goblin. But the more I thought about it, the more I feel like, why are you calling your child a crotch goblin? Like, you chose to have children. And then you're not only calling your child a crotch goblin, you're getting on the interwebs and you're calling them that. The same interwebs where everything is technically kind of for forever. And you're like, crotch goblin. Well, I don't know, because like, what if your kid hears you calling them crotch goblin or sees a video where you're calling them crotch goblin and then they're like, Mom, Dad, why the fuck were you calling me crotch goblin? I don't know. You could be traumatizing your kids and not even realize it. I'm just saying. And I've done said crotch goblin too many times. I'm starting to think of broccoli heads. Fuck. Anyway, I don't, because I mean that's kind of like I'm genuinely getting the vision. What's Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street? That's what I'm starting to think of. But also Cabbage Patch. Stop. Okay, you know what? Honestly, yeah, stop calling your children crotch goblins. I just think that we might need to let that one go. I do think it's cringe. Anyway, redundant, overly literal emoji usage. I don't necessarily think it's cringe because I think we need to have whimsy. Also, when else are we going to use the emojis? You know what I'm saying? You Need to Calm Down by Taylor Swift. Not cringe. Not cringe. Especially not the live version. That was a banger. And also, like, I recognize it could be seen as cringe. But y'all, honestly, like, it's real easy to be on the internet and be like, oh my gosh, that's so cringe. But, like, the United States is very large, okay? And I think when you're on the internet, it can be real easy to, live in a bubble where it's like everyone is like, accepting and loving and peaceful. But the reality is like that is not the case in the US. And I think if you're like, You Need to Calm Down by Taylor Swift is cringe, I think you're missing the bigger picture. That's all I have to add to that. Really. I mean, whenever the You Need to Calm Down music video comes on, like on my YouTube music, like autoplay, I'm like, yeah. It's like, it kind of, it slaps a little. And like the music video, I'm like, this is a moment in time and it's an important moment in time. Even if it's not perfect or super in depth, it's very, The only thing I will say about the music video is that homophobes being presented as unintelligent, like the Hey Morons, because there's a sign that's like, Hey Morons. And I'm like, not every homophobe is like your quote unquote hillbilly trope. So that was like my one little like, but ultimately, I don't think the video or the song is cringe. All right. Anti-vax. Yes, cringe. 100%. Science is real. You need to be vaccinating your children. Enough. Thank you. Criticizing someone's clothes when they're not around. That's cringe. Also, I would argue when they are around, also cringe. Shut up. Thank you. Male thirst traps, not cringe, and I'm going to tell you why. Because here's the thing. As a woman, as a bisexual woman, I love to get a good thirst trap. I love a good spicy photo. Okay? But I'm going to need you to put in effort. I want you to beg for it. Okay? And I think a form of begging for it can be done through thirst traps. Make it to where I feel like I should want to talk to you. Put in effort. Effort goes a long way. Not being a dummy ass doo-doo person goes a very long way. So yeah. I'm just saying. I don't think male thirst traps are cringe. I think more men should be putting more effort into their thirst traps. Remember, men, you are not the prize. Therefore, everything you do needs to be done with extra effort. You're welcome. Let's see, calling it West Village without the. I'm going to the West Village. I'm going to the West Village. I don't know. That feels very like New York City specific. So I don't know if that's cringe or not. Really, I don't care. I'm gonna need the actual physical address because yeah. Let's see. We got Hey Dudes, which I had to look that up. That's apparently a type of shoe, like a lounge shoe. Not my style. I don't know. I didn't see the cost, so I don't know. I don't think it's cringe, but like also, I feel like a certain type of person would wear that. So anyway, who am I to judge? But I just did it. Maybe that makes me a little cringe because I judged someone's shoe choice when they went around because somebody is wearing Hey Dude. Anyway, let's see. Millennials. No, not cringe. We're all humans on a floating rock. One group of people cannot, I mean, yeah, no, I'm not gonna, no, millennials are not cringe. Boomers, they cutting it close. Super fans, no. We live in a capitalist hellscape. Have your whimsy, have your joy. As long as you're not hurting the people involved or yourself or the fans around you in the fandom, go for it. Be a super fan. That I think is so important. Have things that you love for real. Because like right now, it's a lot of anti-love going around. We need more love. So be a super fan. Enjoy shit. Hustle bros. Absolutely. They are cringe. Yes. You know how I was like, we are in a capitalist hellscape. If you're a hustle bro, I want you to hustle no. I want you to stop. Find a hobby. I want to rest personally, and so should you. Not my cup of tea. Hustle bros are cringe. On the same vein, crypto bros, I feel like I can't really comment on this because I don't know much about crypto. Although it does sound like a supervillain's wet dream. So, I mean, maybe if you don't want to be seen as loving or being part of a supervillain's wet dream, then maybe don't be a crypto bro. But I don't know much about crypto aside from what I just said. So maybe it's a little cringe. Frat bros, definitely. Y'all are cringe. Y'all are cringe. And if you're not racist, you're probably hella sexist, misogynistic, you know? Even, add one better, you participate in misogynoir, which is sexism against black women. Okay? Yeah, said it. That's a thing. And if you want to know more, you should go read a book or an article. Don't use ChatGPT. Thank you. Yeah, frat bros, I think in general, y'all just are cringe. If you're not racist, sexist, misogynistic, participating in misogynoir, like I just mentioned, you are extremely entitled, typically. So, yeah, no, not my type. Most bros agree. Most of y'all are cringe. Did you not see the Telegram article that was talking about how 62 million men, or there were 62 million views. Yeah, let me try and get that right because people are like, it wasn't 62 million men. It was more than one. It was more than one man that decided, yeah, let's talk about, assaulting our wives. Assaulting people in general. Not cool. But you're talking about, like, yeah, most bros. Cringe. Absolutely. What's next? My computer wants to sleep a little. Using Snapchat as a form of communication. Hard disagreed. Not cringe. I still use Snapchat as a form of communication with some of my closest friends, so I disagree. It's not cringe. Using social media as a diary when you should really just go see a therapist. To my earlier point of using social media all the time, I think it depends. I think ultimately, I don't think it's that cringe to use social media as a diary because, again, it does keep us connected. Stories get shared. We're reminded that we're not alone on this floating rock. And yeah, maybe we should all have a therapist. Some of us can't afford talk therapy. Some of us don't like talk therapy. So, I think it's really easy to be like, just go see a therapist. But like, I don't think it's that cringe, in short. Share, damn it. We are in a capitalist hellscape that wants us to all be alone and spying on everybody with all the tech and everything. we need to share. We need to be in community with one another. People using their social media to share how they're feeling, it's not necessarily cringe. Broccoli haircuts, I had to look this up. I don't know. It's a haircut. It's personally, when I saw a photo, I was like, that looks like a blown out Jerry curl. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't think it's cringe. I mean, it's hair. I change my hair all the time, so not cringe. Not having a bed frame. I'm sure a lot of you would be like, but Idalis, it is cringe to not have a bed frame. But I counter to you again, life experience. I'm just saying. You know? Not having a bed frame is also wait, time out. The more I think about it, there are some countries where it is more common to like sleep on a thick mat that is on the floor. So like, I think being like not having a bed frame, it is a very like region specific belief. Just saying. That doesn't mean it's a bad, you might not feel like you shouldn't have a bed frame, but I'm just saying in other cultures and parts of the world, it might be the norm to not have a bed frame. So I don't think it's cringe to not have a bed frame. Even if you're in the US, you don't know what somebody's going through. If the first thing on your mind is, damn, that person don't have a bed frame, they must be a shitty person, I think you need to unpack why you think that. Zins, which I don't know what those are. I'm not looking this one up because I don't feel like it. It's also not hyperlinked, so yeah, I'm being lazy. Whatever. I feel like I've seen, like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've seen the advertisement. Maybe, like, is it an e-cig or a vape or something? Sounds silly. I do think it's cringe. Using Pandora. People like what they like. Not cringe, although I get it because it's like, who is still using Pandora? But it's like, Pandora's like the OG, so let Pandora live. Not recycling. I agree. Typically, that is cringe. However, in so many places in the US, the recycling system is not set up in a way that really benefits. Like, ultimately, shit still ends up in the trash. So my personal opinion is like, maybe we let that ride. You feel me? Like, we need to go after not go after the billionaire corporations that are constantly causing harm to our one and only planet that we can inhabit. One and only planet that we can inhabit. Like, we need to get them. And yes, individual things like recycling, reducing, reusing is very important. But there are a lot of ultra wealthy people in this world doing a lot of harm. They need to be held accountable first and foremost. Smoking cigarettes. Agree. That's cringe. Why are you doing that in 2026? Did the truth adverts do nothing for you? If you grew up in the US, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The truth ones, I think the government had some that were just like, kind of pretty intense. So if you picking up a cigarette, you must be really stressed. And to that, I get it. Because again, capitalist hellscape. But perhaps maybe not cigarettes, I think we have other options. Maybe. Men doing TikTok dances, not cringe. That's not cringe. Seriously. More men should shake ass. I want men to shake ass. Dance, please. Like, I need men to stop being so fucking bored. Like, some men are so hung up about performing for another man. You end up being like boring with no personality. And then you'd be like, oh, but I like women. And it's like, you care more about what this man thinks and he don't know you. That's not to say that you actually like you feel what I'm saying? Stop prioritizing male opinions. Okay? If you are a man, that's patriarchy. Stop giving a fuck about what men think of you. Even if you're a man. Stop. And I'm not saying you need to care about what women think about you, although you probably should. Because a lot of y'all men, y'all be out here making it so bad for everybody. I hope you are, are you getting what I'm trying to put down? Patriarchy is very harmful. And I think if you are a dude, a guy, you should work to undo the harm and be like, fuck the patriarchy too. You feel me? Like, fuck the patriarchy. Yeah. Anyway, men should do more dances and shake ass because I think it would be really good and therapeutic for y'all to shake ass, to dance, please. Going on reality TV just to become an influencer. Yes, it is cringe. Here's why. Because I think if you want to be an influencer, you just need to do it the way most other people do it, which is by like doing content creation on social media. I think if you go on reality TV with the intention to try and be an influencer, that is cringe. Because why? Like, why? Like, I think that's why. Because see, that to me says you're making the assumption that the TV show is going to be a good, like, sounding board, like a good platform for you. And I think you are grossly in misinterpreting, like, thinking what reality TV can do for you. Does that make sense? Like, because here's the thing. You go on reality TV, want to become an influencer, but what if you get the villain edit? Like, what if you are made out to be the most unlikable person and now you want to be an influencer? Who is your audience? It's different, I think, if you are an influencer, you have a platform, and then you end up on a reality TV thing, doing whatever. That's different because, again, you have your audience. You have the people who you want to be in community with. When you don't have your people and you're like, I just want to be famous, I just think that's a bad idea. I mean, and if you want to just go on reality TV, that's cool, because I can see why reality TV can be appealing. And then whatever happens after going on reality TV, if it ends up being influencing, cool. If not, you can just live your life. But yeah, going on with the intention of being an influencer, I don't think that pans out the way people want it. Seeking male validation. Yes, that is cringe, like I just said. It's cringe. Stop seeking male validation. Just stop. Regardless of your gender, sexuality, just stop. Do things for you. The people you care, like, I'm going to say the people you care about, but not in the, well, like, what do you think I should, but more in the, like, doing things for them kind of way. Like, I think it's natural to want to feel validated by the people you care about, but ultimately, in short, stop with the male validation. It is causing us too much harm, and men are out here performing heteronormativity. Again, it's all made up. So stop. If you feel like crying and you're a dude, cry. Like, on some simple shit, cry. You want to, I don't know, paint your nails, paint your nails. You want to try eyeliner? Try eyeliner. You want to date another dude? Date another dude. Like, seriously. Y'all, like, genuinely. I'm saying like so many times because I'm just thinking about how much the patriarchy is ingrained in our society. Oh my God. And like as a queer Black woman, it's just like, oh, because it, like, you know how I was saying it's a capitalistic hellscape? Not only is it a capitalistic hellscape, we got so much patriarchal bullshit and white supremacy. It's all the time. It can be very overwhelming. Yeah. Posting Bible verses as captions on thirst traps. That is cringe. It's too many overlaps happening, and I just would ultimately have questions, Love a good Bible quote. On a thirst trap is a choice. Not that you can't be, freaked out and enjoy the Bible, love God, be a Christian. I'm not saying that, but I do think something about, like, if it's just the caption, like if it's just the verse, but you are like, who's your audience here? I mean, I guess, it's a very specific audience. I don't know if I'm your audience for that. So, hey, if it's not cringe to you, if you like it, I like it for you. You ain't hurting nobody. But I am kind of like, what? That's it. It's your choice. That's the first one. I'm like, I don't know. I have to think about that. This one. Making fun of people for chasing their dreams purely because it requires a level of vulnerability and courage you don't have. Agreed. That is cringe. You're making fun of someone for going after what they want in this life? Absolutely cringe. Again, capitalist hellscape. So, yes, it can be hard to go after what you want, but I think the people who are going about it in a way that, isn't actively harming people around them, let people do fun shit. Let people try things, be bad at things. We all start somewhere. You feel me? Yeah. I think if you're making fun of someone for them pursuing what they want, that is, like, not cool. Not cool. Vaping. Yes, that's cringe. Because why are you vaping? Again, we don't know. Like, that's just probably really fucking y'all's lungs up. I'm going to just say that. And I want better for you. Stop. That's cringe. Vaping is cringe. Conspiracy theorists. Yes, it's cringe. Here's why. Because here's the thing. Yes, a lot of things seem to be breaching from, like, conspiracy theory territory to, like, reality. Yes. However, a lot of conspiracy theories are rooted in misinformation and anti-Semitism. So therefore, off that, cringe. Absolutely cringe. The earth is not flat, y'all. What the fuck? And, like, when you really start looking at some of the other, like, conspiracy, like, I'm talking, like, that QAnon type shit, and how easy it is to fall into that funnel, it is absolutely cringe, and it's scary. Because some of them folk, listen, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she was recently up in the Congress, you feel me? Like, she just, like, I don't know if cringe is the right word. I think it's concerning. Conspiracy theorists are often concerning. Here we go. What's next? Running shoes and jeans. Like, wearing them together. Not cringe. I can't bring myself to be like, that's cringe, because that is such a normal thing to do. Meme coins, don't know what those are, so I have no comment. LinkedIn. Yes, it's cringe. Like, I do kind of dislike that so much of networking is now, like, you need to be on LinkedIn, you need to connect with people on LinkedIn, post on LinkedIn, like, capitalist hellscape. Sweatpants tucked into socks. Not cringe. I'm like, that makes me, for some reason, I immediately think of the 80s when I think of, like, sweatpants tucked into socks. I don't think that's cringe. Whatever. It's a style choice. Driving slow in the left lane. Yes, that is cringe. Get out the way. Move, bitch. Get out the way. Luda was onto something there. He should, vroom, vroom, beep, beep. Like, that's part of road rage. Also, some of y'all have a lead foot. Y'all be driving dangerously on these roads, and I'm just unfriendly reminder, you are operating a 2,000-pound piece of machinery. A ton, at minimum. You are operating a ton of a car. Okay? So when you are choosing to go zoom, zoom, when the speed limit is 55 and you're going 95, You are endangering not only yourself, but the lives of people around you. And I don't appreciate that. Slow the fuck down. If you are late, you should have left earlier. Because guess what? Now you have to deal with the consequence of being late. Okay? Thank you. Stop speaking. Like, seriously, some of y'all don't take driving seriously enough. And that's concerning. Hence why Ubering everywhere will never be cringe. Because, again, some people don't have cars. Some people have driving anxiety. And some of y'all are genuinely making the roads more dangerous for us all. Stop. Whew. Okay. Moving on. AI art. Yes, that is cringe. Again, stop with the can't even say it. Stop with the generative AI. Just stop it. Stop stealing from artists. I would rather you make subjectively bad art and like do something that brings you joy and try a new thing. I would rather you do that than be like, I'm just gonna go put this thing into ChatGPT and see what image it pops. No. I am begging you to just go and try and enjoy something, please. Just stop. Because again, we're in a capitalist hellscape. And they are wanting you to use these little AI things that are like generating images stolen from other people's art. So ultimately, you don't know what's real or fake or, oh my God, I sound like a conspiracy theorist. Anyway, trusting politicians. I agree that is cringe. You should not trust nary one. Do not trust these politicians because they're politicians. It's not worth it. I have my bachelor's in political science. It's not worth it. The bachelor's is, yes. Trusting politicians is not worth it. It's cringe. Don't do it. Shorts in the cold. I would agree. That's cringe. I remember being in high school and there were guys who would wear shorts like in 40-degree weather. And it's just like, why are you wearing shorts? There's one guy specifically where he always had shorts on. And like, to me, I think the gag was like, oh, you knew it was like really cold if he wore like jeans or pants to school. So yeah, don't wear shorts in the cold. Cause one, and I'm gonna be honest, I do feel like that's some white people shit. When have you ever seen a black person walking down the street in 40-degree weather with shorts on? Exactly. Never. Ever. One, your legs gonna be ashy. Two, it's cold. You could get hypothermia and die. So just put on pants. Lying. Agree. Lying is cringe. Absolutely. Y'all, sometimes I get lying to like protect yourself. But you see what I'm saying? How that turns into a slippery slope? Because what are you lying about that you think you need to lie about it? It just, Again, this is why you should not trust politicians. Because they be lying about stuff and it's like, sir, we can go and look this up that you did this. Like, we have a lying liar who lies in the White House. And it's cringe. Very. Not caring. That is cringe. Agree. Millennials. This is the second time millennials have come up on this list. I don't think millennials are cringe. Why are millennials getting the brunt here? Like, what? Like, genuinely, y'all. Millennials are, the millennial Gen Z cohort, we have way more in common than we do not in common. So I'm gonna need Gen Z to stop bashing millennials, please. Continue on. People who use AI to find something out instead of Googling, researching it. Agree. That is cringe. Stop using ChatGPT. Stop. Quote unquote guy talk. I do think that's cringe. Like, I'm just gonna assume like the locker room type talk, like guy talk, yeah, that's cringe. Stop appeasing for male validation. Sprinkle. Yeah, think about that. Anyone who is doing a Dunning-Kruger, what is that? Huh? Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's cringe. If you're not an actual expert, stop. Valid. Again, just to my point, me, sitting here and being like, hee hee, ha ha. And if somebody were to be like, but I Dallas is telling me that, no, if I sat here and called myself a journalist, that would be, I think that is an example of a Dunning Kruger. And I'm not that. I'm just a woman on the internet. Yeah. Cutting in line. Agree. Cringe. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just don't. People who only like chicken tenders, I feel attacked. People who only call chicken tenders tendies I love me a good chicken tendy. Damn it. A chicken tendy with ranch. That house-made ranch? Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they say only like chicken tenders. I do think if you only like chicken tenders, that's not cringe though, because chicken tenders are so good. Shout out to all my tendy lovers. Gobble gobble. Like, tendy love. I cannot believe, I've just been called out. What? I like more than chicken dinners, but I think I love a good chicken tendy, and I say that in an ironic way. Any Andrew Tate manosphere shit. Yes, that is cringe. And if you like that man, fuck you. Rolled up jeans cuffs when you aren't pulling it off. This ain't not cringe. I disagree. Astrology, not cringe. The stars have been here for longer than us. Astrology is not cringe. I say that as an astrology girly. Am I a little offended? Yes. I am. Not cringe. Not cringe. Because this person said astrology, and then they followed it up with believing in ghosts, and that is not cringe either. This person has what? Low key. This is the first part of this person. I'm like, that's none of this is cringe. Is it personal bias? Maybe, but also we are on a floating rock. The stars have been here longer than us. We are in some massive floating galaxy where aliens probably exist. Ghosts absolutely are. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Okay? And I mean, if you don't believe in ghosts, maybe it's because you haven't had a ghostly experience yet. Just saying. Just saying. It's possible. Again, oh my God, am I a conspiracy? I'm like, I know, because I'm sitting here you should believe in ghosts. Anyway, believing in ghosts is not cringe. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Liking the Star Wars prequels more than the originals. I can't comment because I've actually never seen the originals or the prequels. I didn't say I wasn't interested. It wasn't not. I am interested in seeing them. I can't. I don't think it's cringe because I can't. Yeah, I mean, it's if you like the prequels more than the originals, I'm assuming you like the prequels because that creates the right continuity, right? Yeah, maybe the person who likes the prequels more than the originals, they like chronological order. I don't know. But the prequels did come out in what, the early 2000s? Yeah, I mean, the prequels, I mean, the word prequel, right? It's giving you the backs. It came before the originals in terms of story, so I don't know. I don't know. I still got something to go through, y'all. Furries. No comment. Not cringe. I mean, if we're talking about like furries in like what the BDSM community, then that's not cringe. As long as everyone consenting adults, like that's not cringe. Yeah. Wait, I'm using my phone to record, so I can't go. I'm not well versed in that. So honestly, like in the whole like furry world, like that's just I'm not well versed in that. So I'm just going to change my not cringe to no comment. I don't know. Vlogging, video blogging, not cringe. Capri pants, not cringe. Although I mean, because I think capris have the excellent purposeful use of being able, you're able to show off like a cute anklet. I will say, I think finding a good pair of capris is probably more difficult. But again, not necessarily cringe. Crocs, not cringe. Pets and strollers, not. Somebody's taking care of their pet. If it's a pet in a stroller, I don't know how that's actually cringe. I'm taking this literally. So yeah. Closed toe shoes without socks. Yeah. That is cringe. We've all probably done it. I say we, but I'm sure somebody's watching this like, not me, I don't know who we is, which I get, but I don't think we should be doing it often. I do think like if you are active, that just seems like it would hurt, like a closed toe shoe, sweat. But I just feel like bacteria would start to harbor after a long period of time. So yeah, that's a little cringe. You don't want your feet stinking, y'all. Yeah. Frosted tips in hair, not cringe, not cringe. Vaping, yes, cringe. Gym rats, in parentheses, people whose whole personality is the gym. Less cringe, more annoying than cringe. Like, that's their personality. I just hope they have other hobbies outside of the gym. And clearly they might not, so. Influencers. Not cringe. I know that might be a hot take, but honestly, most influencers, I guess it depends. Like, are you thinking of an influencer just like as an influencer, or like the influencers who are actually like taking the time to create content, long form style videos, that kind of thing? Ultimately, these are just people trying to live their lives, make money in a capitalist hellscape. We are all laboring our bodies in some way, shape, or form. So I think if I get it. There's nuance there. There are probably absolutely some influencers who is like, how the hell do you have a platform? I get it. But does that make them cringe? No. Having no manners. Yeah, that's cringe. Instagram food. I would love to know, like, because in my head I'm thinking of, are we talking about the food that's like, it looks good, but only looks good on Instagram, and then when you get to the place and you try it, it's like damn near inedible, or like very complicated. Like, how is one person going to eat this kind of thing? Yeah, that's again not cringe as much as it is annoying. I'm starting to wonder, like, is Gen Z using cringe as like a catch-all for that's annoying? Because like some of the stuff I'm like, I think it's just annoying. Has the I don't know. Debate me culture. What's that? Is this sense? Oh yeah. Enough of them Jubilee videos, because that shit is just. I feel like somehow that's pushing people down the alt-right path, and yeah, it is cringe. Enough. It's bad. Just stop. Most reality television. It's reality TV. Does that make it cringe? I mean, most of it, yeah, but again, some of it is very cringe. Most of, yeah, I guess most. Because I'm also like, I mean, I think part of reality television, as staged as it can be and as contrived as it can be now, because there is that production element. When you get the story, it's just like, for some folks somewhere, they they might relate to one of the characters, one of the people on the reality TV show, and they don't think it's cringe. So, not cringe. Twerking. Twerking is not cringe. What the fuck? Frat boys at a rave. Frat boys are cringe at a rave. Them being at a rave isn't a cringe, it's a way, or like, see, no, because I've never been to a rave. So I'm actually going to put a no comment on this one because I don't know what that would feel like. So no comment. But back to twerking. Twerking is not cringe. I think if you think it's cringe, you might need to unpack why you think it's cringe. Because what the fuck? No, shake more ass. Always. Hamilton songs. Fun fact, I've never seen Hamilton. I know. I have heard the songs. I think they're kind of fun. I have friends who love the songs. I don't think Hamilton songs are cringe. We could have a conversation about why did Lin-Manuel choose Alexander Hamilton to, we could have a conversation about that. Sure. But the songs, they kind of slap. So, yeah. Being rude as a means of flirting. Yes, that's cringe. Because somebody, I guarantee you, if you were being rude, if you're flirting with someone and you being rude, I don't know if they picking up that you flirting. Because why are you being rude? Cringe. Calling yourself a girl's girl. Yeah. Yeah, that might actually be a little cringe. I mean, there's a time and a place. Listen, you're probably not gonna catch me calling myself, like, I don't know if I would call myself a girl's girl. The more I think about it, because, like, I think it's a weird, somehow I think it goes back to, like, patriarchy and male attention validation. I don't think that's not what it's supposed to do. I think, oh, like, you're supporting women. But again, I think some people use the whole girl's girl as well, you should support this woman even though she's actually doing something that's really shitty sometimes. And I don't like that. So therefore, I do think maybe we shouldn't, I don't know. Girl's girl. Like, when I think of someone saying, I'm a girl's girl, I can't help but think of Amy Poehler in Mean Girls, and she's like, I'm a cool mom. And it's like, are you? Because in some ways, I'm like, if you're having to announce it, I don't know if I don't know if you really did. So I think I'm in the camp of, I do think it's a little cringe. Not allowing yourself to be weird or cringe ever. Yeah, that is cringe. You need to live. We're humans on a floating rock. And if you're in the United States, we're actively dealing with some capitalist hellscape type shit. Okay? It's not fun. Find some whimsy. The word cringe. Yeah. Because how did we get here, truly? Corporate lingo. That's so random because what kind of corporate lingo? Are we talking about corporate lingo outside of the workplace? Because sometimes that can be done and it's funny. Kind of cringe. I don't know. I don't know if that's cringe. No comment. Men that have podcasts. Typically, yes, cringe. Again, y'all are not doing well. Ever, really. So, quoting old brain rot, in parentheses, fizz, skibbity vibes? Skibbity. How the fuck did y'all say that? Skibbity? I don't think quoting old brain rot is cringe because I will literally be here. I'll be watching random shit, or I'll just be doing something. I'll be like, LeBron James. Or you got eczema. Or a potato flew around, while that, the video of the potato flying around like plays in my head. So yeah, I don't think quoting old brain rot is cringe. I think it is a fun little like microdose of nostalgia fun. The James Charles eyeshadow palette, I guess it's cringe probably because James Charles is James Charles. I don't follow him. I don't really care about his eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to just say, in this case, I feel comfortable being like, yeah, that's cringe. Men in flip-flops, not cringe, not cringe. Let the men wear flip-flops. Jason Kelsey, when I read this, I was like, the first man I thought it was Jason Kelsey. And for some reason, I'm like, yeah, like flip-flops. I can see why some men, it's just, it's a shoe, technically. Hey, it doesn't need socks. Anyway, men in flip-flops, not cringe. Fuck the patriarchy. Because I feel like that somehow this could be veering into men wear this thing, women wear this thing. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Like only women can wear flip-flops. Like, why are men in flip-flops cringe? Have you thought about why you think that? Anyway, Saturdays are for the boys' flags. Yes, that is cringe. See also frat boys. Mr. Beast, cringe, because he seems like a very questionable guy. So cringe. Again, more concern than cringe. Dressing up as the Lorax for Halloween, in parentheses, overdone. Excuse me. It's Halloween. A lot of y'all are using ChatGPT, not realizing it's the need. Okay? So, I don't know. Maybe more of us need to dress up as the Lorax. Get through your heads. Not cringe. Posting a self-timer photo of yourself. How is somebody going to know that you posted a self-timer photo? Not cringe. Posting hourly updates on your private story. Not cringe? I mean, the reason why I say not cringe is because, like, again, it's going back to social media use. How somebody else uses their social media, you don't have control over that. That's not cringe. You're just being like in some way, some of these that I've read off and I've like responded to, I'm like, ultimately, you're just wanting the opportunity to kind of be like, ha ha, like a little bully. And it's like, why are you picking on people? Yeah, that's why I'm like, are we using cringe in the right way? I don't know. Actually trying to sound good when singing along to a song in a crowded room. Not cringe, because here's the fun fact there. Personal opinion. I don't know. See, I feel like now I'm starting to, what is this? Dunning-Kruger? Like, I'm like, oh, I know this thing and you don't. I don't know. I'm just talking shit. Okay. I would much rather try and sound good in a crowded room because that's probably protecting my voice more than just singing along badly. Like, if you know how to sing and you actively, like, that's very difficult to not sound good. Does that make sense? Yeah. I feel like this one that we're talking about is in contradiction to the making fun of someone because they're pursuing their dreams kind of vibes. Because it's like, yeah, the room is crowded. You should still use good form, good technique, have fun. Like, a lot of times people have the most fun when they're actually trying to sound good when singing the song. Shocker. I think it's not cringe. Sing like you know how to sing. Because you're probably saving your voice more than just like scream shouting it and it sounding even worse somehow. So stop. Sing it. Sing it like you mean it. Treat life like a karaoke show party. Quotes on clothes. Not cringe. I love a good graphic tee. I love a good quote. Give it to me. I love reading. Capitalist hellscape. They're trying to take reading away. Okay? And when I do that, I'm like, oh, that's like conspiracy. This is such an interesting little video. I'm sure this is probably close to an hour long. And I think I'm just going to post it unedited. It's taking me that long to go through this list because it was 17 Gen Zers and they all had varying amounts, and I'm wanting to cover each one. Finger guns are cringe? No, they're not cringe. Jumping up and down at a concert? Not cringe. What? I'm concerned simply because this person's age is also 29. That's not cringe. What is happening? Walking around in no-show socks? Not cringe. Not if they fit well. What? Intermittent fasting. No comment. Although I will say, actually, I do have a comment. If it's feeding into diet culture, then stop. Yeah. Concerning more than cringe. Posting or celebrating National Boyfriend/Girlfriend Day. Not cringe. I mean, again, it's not like, wait, am I like misinterpreting? Are these things that, okay, wait. So it's the stuff that give them secondhand embarrassment and the things they personally avoid to sidestep, shame, or just a minor bit of awkwardness. Yeah. I personally think that if you think, why is that embarrassing? Why is someone posting the person that they love or in love with on National Boyfriend Girlfriend Day cringe? Is it because it's a like fake holiday? We are on a floating rock. Everything is fake except hairstyles. I mean, we're not fake, you know? Like, again, I don't think that's really cringe. That's just me. Being neglected by the bartender, is it cringe? Neglected, being neglected. I mean, not cringe because, like, what's the scenario? Is it an empty bar and this person is, again, like, providing poor customer service? That's one thing. But, like, if they're super busy, I mean, you're in a bar and they're doing the best they can and you shouldn't be rude to service workers. So I think if you're being neglected neglected feels like an interesting word. I don't know if that's the right word. Like, because now I'm like, what's the scenario? Anyway, ultimately, not cringe. Watching a boy get off a bar stool. Why are we watching? I don't know. No comment on that. I don't think I've ever done that. I don't really know. Like, no comment. Replying with Instagram reactions, not cringe. If you like something, let someone know. That's a quick way to do it. I love emojis, so then maybe that's, me. People posting shirtless pics, not cringe. TikTok, not cringe. Emily Henry books. I've never read one of her books, but I'm going to go with not cringe, even though you might be thinking, why not? No comment. Because I think that's not cringe. Podcasts where the male hosts complain about their significant others. That is cringe. Yes. Why are we doing this? Break up. And again, stop hating women. People who like reality television, that's cringe. That's not cringe. That is not cringe. Let people like shit. Enjoy. People who mostly tell jokes via TikTok audios. I'm not sure I know what that, like, is that like the TikTok audio is the TikTok audio, but then like there's text on a screen and someone is telling a joke. Like, I don't know if that's cringe. That just sounds confusing. Acapella enthusiast. Everyone should have an acapella enthusiast phase. That's not cringe. Disney adults, we need more whimsy. Capitalist hellscape, not cringe. I get like there are levels to the Disney adulting, but ultimately, like, let people have their joy, okay? Like, they ain't hurting nobody, damn. People who are proud of the books and movies they haven't read or seen. Not cringe. Well, like, if you're making it a personality trait, okay, sure, that might be annoying, but whatever. Bosses who send gifts over text, not cringe. That just feels, what? Rude. Being pretentious, in parentheses, especially without any knowledge or substance to back it up. annoying, concerning even. Not necessarily cringe, just like correcting someone's grammar in a multi-person email. Yes, that's cringe. That's, yeah. Don't, I think doing that via email, that's just, yeah. We all make typos. We are human beings. We're not robots. So, yeah, that's cringe. Don't be that person. Not tipping. I think in short, you would want, yeah, like, yes, it's cringe to not tip. At the same time, we shouldn't have to tip, because if we were all being paid living wages, the expectation wouldn't be that you have to tip. You feel me? I feel like a lot of us feel like we have to tip right now because we know people aren't being paid what they should be paid. And like, yes, you should tip. Like, if it's a service, I do think it's a good gesture, but I like, is it cringe? Yes, but also in this country, I don't think that's the label of whether or not someone's a good person. You feel me? Like, oh, they didn't tip. Okay. You don't know why they didn't tip. But like, don't be an asshole. You feel me? Tip when you can. Tip a good amount. Tip like that 20%, when you can. But like, also don't beat yourself up if you are not in a position to. Be kinder to people is kind of what I'm getting at. And pay people more money. Looking down on / being unkind to service workers. Yes, that is cringe. Not caring about politics is cringe. Men taking selfies of any kind in the gym. Why, like, I get why that could be seen as cringe, but also like almost 30, I'm like, if you taking a selfie, you taking a selfie, whatever. Men filming themselves or making TikToks. Not cringe. Y'all let people live. Damn. Like, why are you, like, if in the context of this article and people are like, I get secondhand embarrassment from seeing a man filming a TikTok. Why? I mean, I get why, because it's a man, but like also at the same time, I do think there might be at least maybe one man that's like not a complete terrible person, but I don't know, because again, the patriarchy. Rough. People taking a video at a concert and you can hear them sing in the background. Not cringe. I don't think that's cringe. It happens. Like, you're at a concert. People are gonna sing. That person making a video is probably singing. Like, again, as long as it's not being obstructive to what you're seeing or how you can interact in the space, have fun. Whimsy, capitalist hellscape. People, okay, I said that one already. The influencer voice, vocal fry, yeah, stop. That is cringe. Bachelorette trips or parties, in parentheses, sorry. Not cringe. People are celebrating love and life. Ultimately, that was a very long pause, but not cringe. I'm just like, dang, like that's a wild one to put. But again, I don't think that, personally, I don't find that cringe. Pick me girls, obviously. Yes, that is cringe and concerning, because why are you pandering to the male gaze? The male, like, stop. Wearing an Apple Watch with a really fancy nice outfit. It's a choice. Would it bring me, like, I mean, no, actually it wouldn't. It wouldn't. If you have an Apple, I do feel like maybe you could get yourself a band, but ultimately, like, YOLO. I mean, you chose to put it on, so hey, that was that person's choice, not mine. Taking pictures of literally everything in public, like with your phone, not cringe. Like, take the photo, do what you want, like, All right, we're coming up on the end. Celebrity couples who make being a couple their whole personality. That I do think that kind of falls into the. It's like, what are we doing? Y'all are still human. You know, you can be in love and in a partnership without it becoming your whole identity. But I'm also in saying this out loud, I'm kind of like, how are we defining whole? Because like at the same time, this person is now part of their life, the other person's life. So like, I think it would be weird to not see them at all, you know, or like, yeah, again, it's all subjective. Ultimately, I think with a lot of the social media stuff or that thing, these statements that could be attributed to social media, if you don't like what you're seeing, unfollow, block, stop scrolling. Nostalgia bait, yeah, that's cringe. Because especially like when like politicians do it, very cringe. The feeling of terry cloth. The feeling of terry cloth. For me personally, it's not cringe because I actually really like how it feels. So, but some folks might not, and that's okay. But again, not cringe for me. When I take photos in public, in parentheses, it's okay when everybody else does it though. Not cringe. Listen, I know this person cringes when they take photos in public. I just want to say again, YOLO. That going back to like the old brain rot. YOLO. See what I'm saying? Like overly personal marketing emails. Yes, that is cringe simply because I start to wonder how much data do you have on me? Yeah. Again, we're going surveillance state, am I right? People who are afraid to be earnest. That is cringe. I agree. People need to People need to care more. Yes. The culture of capitalism that permeates society. That is cringe. Capitalism is cringe. That was the last one. I'm going to stop talking now and see what I'm going to do with this video that I recorded on my iPhone after work. Because I was like, this is interesting. Yeah. Capitalism is cringe. It's giving me and my homegirls stress, like serious stress, chronic disorders. I'm missing 3 nails. Not because of capitalism, but yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed watching this entire thing, thanks for watching. If you didn't enjoy watching it, but you're still here, good for you. I love you, wherever you are. Bye. And remember, we're on a floating rock.